Michael was only 30 years old, but already, everyone in his village spoke about him with respect, admiration, and love. He was a mechanic, a hardworking, generous, simple man, the kind of man who never placed himself above anyone else. Every morning, when he stepped out of the house to go to his workshop, he never arrived on time, not because he was lazy, but because his journey was filled with people waiting to receive his warmth. He would greet the young and old. He would bend down to play with children walking to school. He would shake hands with apprentices going to work, farmers heading to the fields, market women balancing goods on their heads. And whenever he met hunters returning from night hunting, he laughed loudly with them. Many were his friends, and they often shared freshly killed animals with him, meat he would joyfully prepare and distribute again to those around him. Michael was known everywhere. Not only in the streets, but even where he ate. Every morning, the mechanics, drivers, and workers gathered at Mama Thompson's canteen, the famous pounded yam spot. But Michael stood out. His generosity made him a star. Everyone loved him. Everyone trusted him. Yet, for all his popularity, Michael carried one fear, the fear of choosing the wrong woman to marry. And because of this fear, he remained single. One week, he traveled to his parents' village to speak to them. He sat down in front of his father and mother and spoke openly. "I am doing well now," he said gently. "My business is good. I'm getting older, and I want to begin a family. I want children." His parents agreed happily. They promised to find him a wife from the village and send her to him the following week. Michael returned to the city immediately. Many cars waited for him at the workshop. Weeks later, good news came. His parents had found a beautiful, single young woman who agreed to marry him. Michael was overjoyed. He told only a few people in his neighborhood and the workshop. He didn't want a large crowd. But crowds came anyway. Cars were hired. Food was prepared. Gifts and marriage materials were gathered. And the wedding day was unforgettable. The place overflowed with people, friends, villagers, admirers, workers, mechanics, farmers, neighbors. Everyone came. Everyone ate. Everyone danced. Even the bride's family could not hide their joy. They admired Michael's popularity and loved him as their son-in-law. After the ceremony, Michael and his new wife returned home feeling blessed. She declared herself the luckiest woman alive. But 2 years passed. And no pregnancy came. The silence in their home grew heavy. His wife cried often, ashamed and afraid. But Michael held her hands lovingly and said, "You are not God. Children belong to God. He gives them to whoever He wills." Still, back in the village, his mother became restless. She visited a herbalist, who told her the marriage was doomed. According to him, Michael and his wife were never meant to be together. He claimed the wife had a spiritual husband, one that would never allow her to conceive, and worse, was making Michael's business fail. Michael had recently complained that work was slowing down, but his mother refused to believe the herbalist. She said nothing. Instead, she went to visit the greatest herbalist in the region, Baba Gomala. She arrived there like a broken woman. She cried even before reaching the compound. The place was full, people waiting with stories of infertility, miscarriages, spiritual attacks, lost children, failing marriages. One woman told her story. Her daughter had been married 11 years without a child. Another complained her son's wife aborted pregnancies and could no longer conceive. Michael's mother listened silently. After hours of waiting, she finally met Baba Gomala. When she emerged, she looked troubled. She returned home and called for Michael. In a short meeting that shattered his peace, she revealed everything. "The oracle says your wife will never give you children," she said with tears. "She must leave. She has a spirit husband. She has born children in the spirit realm already. We cannot waste your life." Michael's father supported her. We cannot fight destiny, he said. Let her go. Accept what the spirits decided. Michael sat quietly, heartbroken, confused, but obedient. He agreed. He did not ask for time. Because months earlier, a different seer had told him the same thing when Michael repaired his motorcycle without collecting payment. For the next 3 months, rituals were performed. Finally, Michael's wife was sent back home to her parents. A month later, the village sent him another woman. Her name was Mary. Within 2 months, she fell sick. And it was confirmed she was pregnant. Michael worked even harder, leaving the house early, returning late, determined to provide for his growing family. 5 years passed. Mary gave birth to 3 boys, beautiful, healthy sons. Life was good again. Yet one day, a day better forgotten, Michael returned home earlier than usual to pick up a tool he needed for work. He walked through the familiar path, smiling, waving, greeting, as always. But when he pushed open his door, he froze. Inside was Mary. And a man. A man she once introduced as a distant cousin. A man she was secretly sleeping with. Michael trembled, furious, shocked, destroyed. He attacked the intruder, but the man was stronger. He pushed Michael violently. Michael hit the wall. His head struck the hard surface. And he collapsed. Lifeless. In broad daylight. The man ran. Mary screamed and ran outside for help. People came rushing, but it was too late. The cheerful mechanic, the kind man, the giver, the friend of all, lay dead in his own pool of blood. The village wailed. The hearts that once laughed with him broke. Michael's story reminds us. Patience heals. Patience protects. Patience saves. Even in anger, impatience can destroy everything. Let patience be your virtue.